Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. My name is Scott Reich, and this is Crime Talk, the most fact-driven, unbiased true crime channel. First on the docket, prosecutors in the Scott Peterson case say they are no longer going to pursue the ultimate punishment. Second, Bill Cosby says no to treatment. What does it mean? Third, Casey Anthony knows how to work a situation. Fourth, Christian Rivera found guilty in the death of Molly Tibbetts. Fifth, an FBI agent turned con man. Sixth, a woman shot 7 times after 23 shots fired. We'll tell you all about it. And finally, our dumb criminal contestant of the day. Let's talk about it. Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. My name is Scott Reich, and this is Crime Talk. As you can tell, we're not in the Crime Talk studios. We are on the road. We went down to the Southern Command this weekend, and we are headed back. All right, we have a busy docket, so let's get straight to it. First, the prosecutors in the Scott Peterson case are not going to pursue the ultimate punishment. For those of you who do not recall, Scott Peterson was convicted of the deaths of Laci Peterson and their unborn son, Connor Peterson, back in 2004. Now, both Laci and Connor disappeared on Christmas Eve of 2002. The case has gone up and back through the appeal process, and the case was reversed as it related to the death penalty. And the Supreme Court said, but you have another shot. Originally, the prosecutor said that they were going to pursue the case against Scott Peterson to make sure that he received the death penalty again. Now, the prosecutors are walking that back, saying that they have spoken to the family, done their compliance with the Victims' Rights Act, and now they've decided they're not going to pursue that. It's simply too emotional and too difficult for the family. Understand that's what is going to take place in this particular case. Scott Peterson is now 48 years old, and they would spend the next 30 years still trying to put him to death. Now, this case still has legs in the sense that a court still has to hold a hearing on the alleged misconduct of a juror to see if she, in fact, was not truthful and would result in a new trial. And we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. Next on the docket, Bill Cosby says no to treatment. Well, what does that mean? Well, Bill Cosby was sentenced to a 10-year prison sentence for aggravated indecent assault, and now he refuses to do any of the treatment for a sexually violent predator. What does that mean? It means Bill Cosby will not be eligible for parole until and if he complies with that treatment. He refuses to do so. Ultimately, that means the 83-year-old will not become eligible until September 25th after completing the 3-year minimum term of his sentence. He was sentenced to a 3 to 10-year term in prison, designated a sexually violent predator back in 2018 after he was convicted earlier in the year of the rape of Andrea Constrand, his former friend at Temple University in 2004. Cosby will not be considered for parole again unless and until he completes that treatment. Somehow I think Bill Cosby is never going to admit that he did anything wrong, even though a jury of his peers has said that he did. Now, he certainly has that right, but it also means that he will spend the rest of his days in custody. Next on the docket, Casey Anthony sure knows how to work a situation. As you may recall, last week we talked about Casey Anthony being involved in a little skirmish at a bar with another woman over a boy that they were both dating. I should say a guy that they were both dating. But Casey Anthony, you can listen to this little tidbit, she knows what to do. She wants an incident report. She knows that the individual has already left the premises, right? She didn't just leave the bar, she left the premises, speaking just like a police officer. Anyway, Anthony says she needs it so that she can get a restraining order against this particular woman, but she knows certainly to document the situation and work it to her advantage. I guess she learned something as she was awaiting trial, where she was ultimately acquitted for the death of her daughter. Next on the docket, Christian Rivera found guilty as it relates to the death of Molly Tibbetts. Now, this was a terrible case that I don't know what to say about it. We did not cover it as closely as we probably should have, but this particular case, The defendant got up late last week and concocted a story, and I think it can only be called a story, that basically he was kidnapped. He was taken to this farm field where these other two individuals were responsible for the death of Miss Tibbetts. And he was just scared, and he was able to lead the police officers to her body. Uh, the whole story just made no sense. Needless to say, the jury rejected it and found Mr. Rivera guilty late Friday afternoon. Next on the docket, an FBI agent turned con man. That's right. A retired FBI agent is accused of conning a Texas woman out of more than $800,000 by convincing her she was under secret probation. That reminds me of the scene from Animal House where they told everybody they were on super secret probation. Well, that's what the former FBI agent William Roy Stone Jr., now 62, was alleged to have done. And he was charged with 7 counts of mail fraud and 1 count each for wire fraud, conspiracy, false impersonation of a federal officer, engaging in monetary transactions and property derived from unlawful activity, and false statements to law enforcement. If convicted, he can get up to 178 years. Stone allegedly told the victim that she had to pay expenses related to him supervising her, including travel, a house, and vehicles, according to the indictment. He's also convinced her to pay money he claimed was restitution for a wrong company, which he deposited into his own bank account. The victim was also told by Stone that she could not tell anyone of the super secret probation. It just goes to show you, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what your status in life, no matter what your title is, you simply have to check everybody out. This guy's a former FBI agent, right? The cream of the crop, people that can trust him. Apparently not. Now, Mr. Stone is currently out on bond. We'll see if he comes up with another way to get out of this particular situation between now and when the trial is set. I just have a gut feeling Mr. Stone may be leaving the jurisdiction. Just a hunch, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's take a quick recess before we continue on with the docket.
Please go to CrimeTalkSearch.com, sign up for a background subscription service. You'll be happy you did. If there's anyone out there you were ever curious about what was in their background, now is the time to do it. If you're going to get involved with somebody, now is the time to do it. When you go to CrimeTalkSearch.com, you put in the name, literally millions of public records are searched, and a report is generated. And it's going to give you a report. If they have multiple social media accounts, you're going to find it. If they have multiple phone numbers, multiple email addresses, it's going to be found. And more importantly, you're going to get information regarding criminal history. Hopefully the person you're searching has none whatsoever. But if it's there, it's going to be found. You're going to get everything you'd want to know, whether you're going into business or whether you're going into a personal relationship. You're going to be able to find out the information you want to know. So go to CrimeTalkSearch.com, sign up today. You'll be happy you did.
Next on the docket. Now, police say that a woman who was shot 7 times after 23 rounds were shot into her vehicle is an innocent victim. Now, I would love to be able to show you this video, but YouTube won't allow it. They're going to tell me that it violates their community standards. So we'll just show you a quick screenshot of it here, but you can go to our Patreon page and check it out. Now, 34-year-old Ohio mother of 2 was parking her vehicle the other day in a strip mall when she was shot 7 times as 23 rounds were fired into her SUV. Now, 3 men jumped out, and it looks like from the video they were following her. Something walked up to the car and literally opened fire on her. Now, there's not a whole lot of information in this story, but they either got her completely confused with somebody else, or this was a total hit job. So we hope that Jessica Marzette, who is the victim in this particular case, has a full recovery. She is expected to recover. Next on the docket, our dumb criminal contestant of the day. But before we do that, let's get to our dumb criminal contestant winner from last week. Our winner from last week was Luz Ray. She's the young woman who was a paralegal who thought it would be a good idea to cross the line to zoo and go feed the monkeys. Fortunately, neither she nor the monkeys were injured or harmed in any way, but Miss Ray received a citation, and she's also been fired from the law firm where she's been employed. Now, our dumb criminal contestant of the day comes from Milwaukee. Now, we've all heard of stories where somebody's been drunk, walks into a residence where they do not know that they're not supposed to be. Well, in this particular case, a 19-year-old woke up in handcuffs after he broke into a Milwaukee Airbnb rented out by Montana sheriff deputies who were in town for a special law enforcement training. The deputies were sleeping at the time the teen made their way into the home. When they woke up, they spotted the back door open and the intruder was asleep upstairs. Now, according to a TikTok video posted online over the weekend in which they explain the incident, this silly guy found the one Airbnb in all of downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, loaded with cops. The deputy said the teen was drunk and had no idea where he was or where he came from. The teen stated, "This was the first time that I've woken up in a random place." The lawmen called 911 to report the encounter to local law enforcement. The teen was taken into custody by the Milwaukee Police Department, but reportedly didn't face any charges. He got lucky. Had somebody woken up and fired shots in most jurisdictions, that would be completely lawful under a make my day type of law. Anyway, the unidentified 19-year-old sounds like he got off lucky, and hopefully we'll learn from that experience. All right, that's all we have for you today. Probably not going to make the live this evening simply for the fact that I'll be traveling and I don't think I'll be able to get back to the Crime Talk studios in time. And then I'm going to be on the road as well. So we'll either do it tomorrow from Houston and we'll see how things go. And before we go, a big shout out to Julie. It's her birthday. She helps make Crime Talk work, and she does a great job with Miss Winnie the Bulldog. Have a wonderful day. Have a great time on Crime Talk.